Having no more clients may be the best decision you ever make for your agency, for your consulting practice, or your coaching business. And I'm about to tell you why. I can remember getting paid on a monthly basis by someone. They knew that I was in a position where I could not lose them as a client, and they completely took advantage of and mistreated me because it got to the point where it was kind of ridiculous, and I was having to put up with it because they basically held control over my life. And so I want to show you how to make sure that doesn't happen to you. So what are the signs that you're stuck on the agency, consulting, or coaching hamster wheel? They include your over-reliance on one or a few clients in which that money, if it went away, would make it impossible for you to survive. And so you want to make sure that, number one, you have your funds and your money coming in diversified. That it's not all with one particular client or one partner for that matter. You want to diversify your income sources. You don't want to be a servant to your clients building their wealth and their empires while you make peanuts. There are hidden costs to running an agency, a coaching, or a consulting business. So here they are. You're building everyone else's business but your own. You're trading time for money with no long-term assets. You're getting burnt out from constant client demands. And there's an opportunity cost not having an ownership stake or an equity piece in a business. Equity agreements, on the other hand, have a lot of positives and upsides to them. For example, you have a legacy clause built in because if something happens to you, based on the kind of contracts that I recommend you do and the agreements that I recommend you put in place, your heirs or your kids will continue to get paid. So that's number one. Number two, when you're getting and putting an equity deal in place, your percentage of time spent kind of burning out, doing work at odd hours for people that don't respect you and give you the treatment you deserve goes way down because you're only going to work with people that you really enjoy working with. If you're an agency owner, for example, you're working probably 70 plus hours weekly and putting up with a lot of crap. Whereas if you have an equity deal in place, you're going to be in a position to make a lot more money for maybe half or less that amount of work. And sometimes it's actually, I actually do feel a little bit guilty for the amount of work I do for the amount of money I end up getting paid. In all of these cases, you have more vacation time, more passive income. I like to travel. And over the last couple of years, I've taken at least 2 or 3 trips to Europe. I've gone back home to the Philippines where I grew up, and I've been able to enjoy my time off without having to worry about constant client demands and pressure to get things done. And I'm sure you know what that feels like. So the benefit of equity deals over the traditional client relationship is this. It's number one, you obviously will make more money long term because you have a stake in the business, and you're going to make more money if you pick the right partners, which I assume you will do based on my criteria. Number two is you'll be working with people who truly respect you and treat you like a partner and not like an indentured servant. Number three, you're also going to be in a position to work the hours that are necessary, not the hours that are demanded. The common fear when you're putting an equity deal together is, do you have to put some complex legal agreement in place? And the answer is no. In my case, I recommend you go with a simple one-page agreement. That's what I do, and it is sufficient as long as you outline all of the elements in that agreement, such as the responsibilities your partners will have, the responsibilities that you'll have. So make sure and put equity agreements in place, because that will be one of the primary things, is defining the roles each party will have. You'll also want to figure out in that agreement who will be collecting the money, who will be dispersing money for expenses, and how will this be done, because one of the things I hate doing is doing any of the accounting. So I leave that in the hands of the partners, and I do that for another reason as well. If I let the partner be in charge of accepting or taking in money and dispersing it, there's no way that I can be accused of any financial funny business. So that's another big benefit of doing that as well. Another common fear is that someone is going to try and play some games with you financially. If you are in a partnership agreement with someone in an equity partnership, that should allow you, and you should always put in writing, that you have access to the books at any and all times. And this makes it very easy to find out whether or not someone is playing any kind of games financially, and for you to nip it in the bud immediately. And the bottom line is, when you're doing equity deals, over the long run, and again, this is over the long run, you are going to be making more money. That's the thing. You're going to feel more security. You're going to have more time off. And frankly, some of my equity deals that have been in place for a while are paying me money for very, very little work. And by very little work, I mean less than 10 hours a week. So if any of this sounds interesting to you and something you want to put in place in your business and change things from the way they are now, which I assume you may be pretty frustrated by, to doing it more my way. And again, you don't have to switch your entire business over, but if you're interested in finding out more about how that works, just check the number below and send me a text or call me and leave a message and I'll get back to you right away. Stop chasing clients and start building wealth through ownership.